Hey guys, how's it going? I'm going to attempt to keep myself on a bit of a strict time limit since the past couple of times I attempted to do either a rant or a waste management story over 30 minutes. My phone, for whatever reason, cuts the last 30 seconds out, which is like the ending, like last things that I say, anyways, like the don't forget to subscribe and all that really good stuff. So, I am going to attempt to keep things a little short, and well, if not, then oh freaking well. But this is actually my third attempt telling the Thursday stories, or at least recording a video in general. I did have a bit of a rant planned, but I think I might do that later tonight. Maybe once I get home, or maybe tomorrow. It just really depends on my mood. But until then, I guess we can talk about my Thursday route. So yesterday I talked a little bit about tips and my Wednesday routes, and how my Wednesday route was probably my favorite trash route. So Thursdays were really, really annoying. Thursdays, or at least when I was just alone with me and sometimes two other guys, but mostly just be me and someone else. Very rarely would they give me a second guy, and it would really, really help, especially when we were getting through the big neighborhood that we had to get every single can at, or at least from this one specific spot in this one neighborhood. So Thursday's route was very, very scattered. It was very, very um, scattered out, but it wasn't as scattered as Tuesday's route was. Tuesday's was just all over the fucking place, and it covered this one very long road in which you had to go through each and every single neighborhood. There would be at least 1 to 5 to 10 cans in each neighborhood. So, Tuesday's route took the longest because of that. Thursday's route was a little bit like Tuesday's route, except it was still like generally located at around this one, I wouldn't say major highway, but it was a highway that this area kind of centered around, but it was still more or less scattered out through, like, you had to go over here, you had to go off road over here, you had to go down this road, and then go to into some neighborhoods down here, and then so on and so forth. Thursday's route was just very tedious and annoying, especially when Camera's route was added on, um, to make things a little longer, a little more tedious and more annoying. At one point, I would almost intentionally miss um, a can that was on the other side of the road, mostly because of how bad the traffic is. I was not going to have my guy, or God forbid, I go out there in fucking rush hour traffic with people honking behind me, telling me get the fuck off the road and all that shit. I wasn't gonna have that. So, and there were some instances where I had to stop for a can on my side of the road. We still have people honking behind me saying, get off the fucking road. And I'm sitting here like, I'm doing my fucking job. You get off the fucking road. So, it was very, very annoying uh, to get through this route, because you just had these assholes that just really didn't care about trash trucks. So, you know, I do remember one instance where I personally almost got hit, and I'm just throwing out my fucking hands trying to wave him down, and here he is just giving me the fucking bird, just flung his fucking hand out the window saying, fuck you, and I'm just sitting here like, dude, what the fuck? Luckily for me, there was a cop right behind, far back from the line, And he drives up and he says, "Did that guy almost hit you?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, he almost did. He gave me the fucking bird too." He says, "All right, well, you mind if I go get him? Be my guest." So I was very, very fortunate for that. So, almost got hit, almost got into a fucking accident because somebody was just in too much of a hurry to pass on a no pass zone. You're legally not allowed to pass vehicles in a no pass zone, even if they're trash trucks picking up garbage, even if it's the mail guy, even when there's nobody coming, especially when they're in the middle of a turn where you can't see if there's a fucking truck coming or another car or someone, especially when you can't see if there's somebody coming. That's very, very dangerous and very, very illegal. And people have gotten killed over that. Trash truck drivers and other helpers have gotten killed because of other people's stupidity of not knowing how to drive. So, I was very fortunate that cop helped me out in my favor. So, more Thursday nonsense. I mentioned in a previous video that sometimes they gave me a truck that had recycling on it. And 7 times out of 10, I would have to, depending on how packed out that truck was, I had to go all the way to Alpharetta just to dump it. And that took about 30 minutes just to get there. So I would have to literally waste an hour back and forth just to take care of this fucking waste. What I would usually do the other 3 times out of 10 that happened, was I would start my route, pack out, and then go to Alpharetta to dump. And then we'd usually have enough space to get 80% of the route, and then go dump again before 4 or 5 o'clock, and then get the rest of the route before 6, basically. By the time the sun went down, pretty much was by the time we ended the route. So, and when we had a truck that had recycling, we were pretty much guaranteed to waste an hour just to go dump this extra load of recycling and then get done with the route. Maybe 8, maybe 9, maybe before it gets dark. So, it was very, very stressful. It was very, very annoying too. So, I was not very happy about any of that. So, whatever. So after all of that, after everything that really happened, they never really fixed the route. Almost every single time we did camera side of the route, I had God, what was his name? The other driver, I can't remember what I named him yesterday, so I'll name him Jose. Me and Jose were pretty much just going back and forth. We had this other driver, her name, I'll name her Christy. So me, Jose, and Christy were on this Thursday route. Those two, or at least Christy, would just absolutely hate it because of the fact that, half the time we'd get something with recycling, she would know that we'd have to just freaking deal with it. And, with literally 3 drivers on the truck, we had a little system of like switching out. So like every other neighborhood we would switch out. So whenever I'd usually start off getting to the route, and then I would show them like where we pick up, and then I'd tell him, all right, it's time to get back. It's time to get back to the truck. You're doing the next route, or you're doing the next big area, and then we'll go from there. And then usually we pack out, and then I basically change out because I knew the way to Alpharetta and to that recycling plant, and then we basically go to the recycling plant. I do remember having to get directions a few times because Well, unfortunately, just we couldn't really go all the way back to our main dump to dump mixed recycling and trash. They just refused to allow it. And I'm just sitting here like, hey, we have this recycling stuff. We can't have this recycling stuff. I remember because of the Tuesday and Thursday routes, my boss basically told me, look, you got to get these routes done. You really got to get these routes done at a good time, at a good pace. You cannot continue to leave cans out like this. And I would always tell her, look, 9 times out of 10, it's not my fault, because none of the stuff is on the tablet. None of the stuff is in the correct positions on the tablet. I shouldn't have to continue to put these, especially when it's in an area that I don't recognize, especially if it's a road that I've never gotten on before, that I usually just pass. And again, there were times which I had to pass because of rush hour traffic, because there was just no way I was going to risk my life just to get a goddamn trash can. Unfortunately, in the month of May, she gave me until June, middle of June, to basically get with the flow or go somewhere else. She basically put my career at notice that, hey, if you don't pick up the pace, you're out. And I was very, very upset about that. But, I didn't really show anything, I didn't show her that, whatever. I didn't show her that I was, mentally upset about that. But I know my mentor, Don, I know he knew something about it. He knew something was up. He knew I was getting pretty upset. And that's most likely why he put me with Christy and Jose. So I do appreciate Don for trying, but after Memorial Day week, or the week of Memorial Day, I was pretty much done. So even after getting off for a doctor's appointment and going to MobileCon afterwards, everything was just, it was going downhill. Pretty much the week of MobileCon was my last full week at Waste Management. And I'll have more about that full week in a little more detail, probably weeks leading up to it, after I get done with my Friday story tomorrow. So, yeah, like I said, Thursday's route was just very, very annoying. I really, really didn't care about Thursday route because, again, we usually got done at around 3. So I don't really understand why they added 3 more hours of annoying work when, Camera got done with that route at around the same time. Now he's getting off at 2 or 3 or he used to get off at around, I want to say around 5-ish. So now they put that stuff on me. Now I'm getting off at 5 or 6. And I'm not getting any help. So I remember having to, I had to go into this neighborhood because there was a few things that were just added to the route that I just kept missing for some reason, because it was not picking up on my tablet because it wasn't in the right position again. So I made a mental note, hey, we got to go into this neighborhood. And we found secret ways to like sneak into the neighborhood and then like go out, a really, you know, good, in a really good way. And we found ways around this route so we can like get this one big neighborhood last, have this neighborhood be the last thing we do. That way we can get every single can. And it worked. It worked. That was like 2 weeks before I left Waste Management. Or 2 weeks before Waste Management decided to cut ties with me. So I ended up doing that kind of a little bit backwards, but we still did the route. We still picked up every can that we saw. We still got that grass on part of Cameron's route. So again, it was I still felt pretty good doing the route that way, but at the end of the day, it was just really, really annoying. So I felt very annoyed that we couldn't do the route the way Don had it all set up. And then eventually, I know in my last full week, we did this route backwards again, but instead of picking up, instead of that one neighborhood, or I guess more like residential area with like a bunch of apartment buildings like this one, we would do that neighborhood, and then we would just do that street last, basically going full circle. That way we don't have to like go up and waste like 30 minutes just to get all that. We'd go around and have like sometimes, I would say some, but we wouldn't waste 30 minutes just doing all that. We'd just go around and then have this one area. Since there was usually a lot of traffic at the end of the day, it'd work. So, we were pretty satisfied with that. So tomorrow I'll be talking a little bit about my Friday route. And then if I have time, we'll talk about basically my last couple of weeks leading up to termination. If not, then I will most likely just talk about that. If not tomorrow, then what's tomorrow? Wednesday? Thursday. We'll talk about that Thursday. So anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for the support. Thank you guys for all the subscriptions and all that really, really good stuff. And hey, if you guys are new to the channel and you like this sort of content, don't forget there is a way for you to subscribe. So hit that subscribe button, and don't forget, if you want to keep up to date, to hit the bell so you stay notified. I know the latest Death Theater Reborn video was just released, because I just watched it about an hour ago. So I felt pretty good with it. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later. So, yeah. So anywho, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, show your support if you want, of course. As always, I will see you guys next time. Have a good day. Bye-bye.